Yes, this is the FiiO M3. Look how small this is. It's ridiculous. It's a digital audio player, and you know, it comes with these little white earbuds right here, and I think people are gonna look at it and, you know, see you walking on the street and be like, oh, it's it's another iPod or iPhone user just listening to the device with their cheap white earbuds. They'd be wrong. This tiny thing may be smaller, but it's quite a bit more interesting, in my opinion, than those devices because of one thing. Well, a few different things, but we'll start off with the one thing that's really important, and that is the micro SD card slot. It'll take up to a 64 gigabyte micro SD card. It has 8 gigabytes of built-in memory. Interface is clean and easy, and it works with tons of different audio formats, including lossless. This little guy will do lossless. So first off, let's just go through the physical specifications of this unit right here in my hands. It's tiny. 74 millimeters by 39.7 millimeters by 9.1 millimeters thick. It weighs but 40 grams. It's got a 2-inch TFT screen, 240 by 320 pixels. It's not the brightest or the best screen, but it looks good, and they've done a pretty good job of, laying out the software so that it, while you're listening to music, the album art looks nice and big. So I don't really have too many complaints here. It does the job. This is not something to watch videos on. It's something to listen to music on. So that's pretty cool. Signal to noise ratio is an acceptable 95 decibels. Frequency response is 8 hertz to 47 kilohertz. Now the battery life on this, you can charge it up here on the bottom with the micro USB. The battery life on this is 24 hours. This tiny little guy will last for 24 hours. All right, as far as your different formats go, 48 kilohertz, 16-bit, all works just fine. It works with APE, FLAC, WAVE, MP3, WMA, Vorbisog, M4A, and then a whole bunch of other stuff, AAC, whatever. Even the high-quality AAC files, M4A. All right, now touring the front here, we got backlit buttons on the bottom here, and it's pretty easy. We got one button to browse through, your folders and stuff, and then we've got different icons here. You can browse by your song, artist, album, or folder, and then you got your options on the top, and it's just really easy. You got up and down to browse through that, and then forward and back to change from your songs, and then there's a play pause button up here in the top right. It's very simple to navigate. Above and beyond that, you've got built-in EQ settings. It's got several different ones built in, and you can even go in and tweak it yourself. Now let's talk about a couple of minor gripes with this unit. It's kind of slow when you're changing songs. When you're browsing through your music library, if you've got a ton of stuff in here, well, you can't just swipe up and down. It's not, that fancy. I mean, it's not ridiculously expensive. These things are not touch sensitive. You have to tap them. So if you want to go all the way to the bottom, you can push the button and hold it down, and it'll start going faster and faster, But you're still gonna have to do a lot of tapping, tap, 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 tap. And then once you're playing the songs, let's say you want to go from the first track to the 9th track. Well, with the software that came on here, I would have to press the button. It would take about a second to go to track 2. Then you press the button again, and it would take another second to go to track 3. So it's a little bit slow. I would be using this for hiking or the gym, or out and about, where you just put on an album and let it play. If you want to like finagle with your music and mess around and that sort of thing, it's not going to replace like a phone with an SD card slot or something like that. It is going to replace. This could replace most MP3 players out there on the market, most digital audio, players. It could replace most of those. I really like this thing. The SD card slot is just, and the sound quality out of it is really clean. It was able to power these. These are like, 80, 90 ohm. Power these plenty fine at 40, at a volume of 40. My ears were like, okay, that's about enough. 40's just fine. Sounds great. These little guys, clean sound. I wouldn't call them analytical, but just pretty damn clean, so that's surprising. And then I also tried my 600 ohm Biodynamic GT880s, and it's not powerful enough for that, obviously. But if you guys want to use some higher impedance headphones, well, you can grab one of these. This is the FiiO Q1. So this is something you can carry around with you. It's a portable DAC amp combo. You can use it just for the amp, or you can use it for the DAC and the amp. Now, when you're using this, it will allow you to use up to, it's usually, I guess, 150 ohm, 200 ohm headphones. 250 sounded just fine on this. It even had enough volume to play my 600 ohm headphones at like a medium volume, so that sounded okay. Now the FiiO Q1 has a few different features. First off, we've got the bass boost down here on the bottom. That's your on and off switch here. You can turn up your volume. It's got a nice feeling potentiometer. and I like that it's shielded on the side, so it's hard to bump. You have to like deliberately turn it. Headphones on one side, and then we have our our line here on the bottom. Now it comes with a tiny little cord here, so in case you wanted to plug it in to a phone or something like that, you can plug it into the phone and just plug this in, and you've got this tiny little cord, and that works out just fine. 2 levels on the gain there for higher impedance headphones and that sort of thing, and then you can turn the charging on and off there on the bottom. When you turn the charging on, of course you charge it, then you turn it off, and this will allow you to plug this up to a USB source. Like it'll become your DAC, so you can actually run this through your phone. It's like newer versions of Android, I think iOS 7 and above. I don't have an Apple device, so I couldn't test it out with that. But if you want to bypass the DAC that's on your device, you can use this, and then you won't have to worry about anything. It's just this is your nice clean DAC. And it also works with your computer. Works with Windows, Mac and Linux. You just plug and play, but I think you have to do a driver on Windows. I didn't try it on my Windows machine. I was too busy listening to it with this little guy, and also my phone. It's black. Oh, by the way, this little guy comes in several different colors, black, and you guys should check out the rest. I like this little blue color. It's cool. 100 grams, 107 signal noise ratio. That's 107 decibels. That is. It is 97 by 56 by 13.1 millimeters. And this one's black, and that's aluminum. It's just like a powder coated black aluminum. As far as on the inside, the DAC is the Texas Instruments PCM 5102, and sounds pretty good. And then as far as the amp goes, it's the Maxim MAX 97220. It supports up to 96 kilohertz, 24-bit decoding, and it has a 1400 milliamp hour lithium-ion polymer battery, whatever it is. And that can last for 30 hours, or if you're using the DAC and the amp at the same time, it'll cut it in half at about 15 hours, almost at 15 hours, and then you've got as far as your 20 hertz to 20,000 kilohertz as far as your frequency response range. Now, this has a very clean sound, but it's the tiniest bit warm. That's it, just the tiniest bit. And we're not talking like a tube amp here. This is still a digital amp. But it's not 100% neutral. It sounds pretty good. I thought it sounded nice to walking around town and something, and that sort of thing. Also with these, it sounds really good because these are very analytical. They got a very flat frequency response range, and that just made them a little bit warmer. Made some of the rock and roll and that sort of thing sound nice. But if you're looking for something on the go, this is pretty cool. Now they also include this, so when you're doing stuff with your phone, you got this little silicone pad there. They've got 2 of these in the box, and then we have 2 of these rubber bands here, so you can just so you can get a couple of these, put one on each side if you wanted to, but there we go. Now I've got the little silicone pad between them, so it's not going to scratch it up. Got it hooked up to my phone here. I have to get micro to Type C, but there you go. This thing, it's kind of ridiculous. Let's make a sandwich out of all of them. No, I'm not doing this right now. So anyway, those are some pretty cool products I checked out from FiiO. This is something I'm keeping this with me. This thing's freaking awesome. I'm gonna load this up with a bunch of stuff for working out or whatever, and this is freaking good. It sounds really good. I wish the software was slightly faster for changing songs, but that's such a minor gripe. I just felt like I needed to complain about something. Oh yeah, I wish it would take cards bigger than 64 gigabytes. Maybe that would be too difficult to scroll through with it being a little slow. As far as the price goes, I think this is pretty decent. As far as the amp goes, there's a lot of different amps out there on the market. I don't think I've tested enough to recommend this one against some of the other ones on the market. FiiO even makes several of them that, some people say this one sounds better, this one sounds better. So a lot of that's subjective depending on what your style is. But I'm telling you, this one is slightly warm, slightly, but it still has a nice clean sound and provides power for up to 30 hours or 15 with both of them together. So anyway, FiiO Q1 and the FiiO M3. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And let me know if you guys, have suggestions or other options or other ideas, but this tiny little guy is cool in my opinion. Go ahead and check out the store. It's right over there. We've got some cool stuff on there. We're always putting more cool stuff on there. And we'll see you guys in the comments.